Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody to Speakers Night 2015. So very low microphone. Welcome everybody. We're really happy. We have 9 great candidates ready to hear from today. Our host today is Jordan Lavoie over here, looking really good in the suit. We're also joined today by our election staff, our Chief Returning Officer Alex Gannon, and our Deputy Chief Returning Officer Derek Masters. Alex and Derek are going to be running the time today, and Jordan's going to be asking the questions. So without further ado, I'm going to pass on over to Jordan, and he'll explain how today's going to work.
I don't know if you guys can see right now, but this is going to trip me. I promise you later on, there's a wire that I'm going to trip on. Forewarning. Okay, so my name is Jordan Lavoie, if you don't know me. Just quick thank you to Alex, our President of the Year. So, how it's going to work is I'm going to introduce anyone behind me. I'm going to be asking questions to either each position, whether it's presidential, VP social, academic, and so on. And they're going to each have a minute to answer the question, if I'm not mistaken. After this, they're going to have time for closing statements, each 30 seconds apiece. And then after, we're going to open it up to the floor, and everyone, if you would like, can answer a question. We have about half an hour for that. And if you'd like to ask a question, you're going to go see Alex and Derek, and then they're going to screen and then be able to ask those questions. Everyone understand? Can anyone give me a thumbs up? Thank you, appreciate that. So right now I'm going to introduce everyone. And first we're going to start with our presidential candidates. We have Matt Robinson, we have Guillaume Saval, and we have Lauren Straw. Next for our VP socials, we have Eamon. How do you spell that? Doyle. Eamon Doyle. We have Bianca Lapense and Becca Reed. For our VP academic, we have Chelsea. And then for VP Student Affairs, we have Heather and Natalie Hickey. So now I'm going to pass it over so they can introduce themselves. Yeah, Matt. Down the podium.
All right, I'm going to... Time to start? All right, so hello everybody, my name is Matthew Robinson. I'm sure you guys all seen me around throughout this year. I'm your current Vice President of Student Affairs. I'm looking forward to passing on the title to one of these two lovely ladies behind me. I've got a lot of ideas to bring to the table as another member of the executive team next year. My big goal is keeping the ball rolling, not losing the momentum that the SRC has gained. I don't want people to have to make the same mistakes I have. I want to go in with the training and the experience I've brought from 2 years on the SRC, a year in res life, and other jobs around campus, and really make sure that people start off the year doing great things right away. Some of my ideas that I want to really make happen is keep making more inclusive events happen here at the gate. More concerts, more trivia night, and similar style events. I really want everybody to feel welcome and be able to take a photo that they're comfortable sending to their mom. I want to have a Quidditch tournament, and I want to also get more involvement with our U4 partner schools to really get more engaged with them. So thanks for listening tonight. Sorry if it was quiet.
Yeah, just make sure you're actually really talking into it, okay? You can adjust it a bit.
Hi, my name is Guillaume Saval. I'm running for President, as you know. Basically, what I want to do is I Why am I doing? What am I doing here? I believe in our electoral process. I think that all students should be represented, whatever their opinions. That the whole student body is more important than whatever your opinions are. I've been implicated in different committees, groups, etc. around the universities, and now I think that it's time to avoid improvisation, to have someone who know what they are doing, to bring new ideas at the SRC, and that's why you need new blood at the SRC. That's why I'm running. Thank you.
For as long as I can remember, I've always had a passion for working with people and representing students. Before I even accepted my offer to Bishops, I had already figured out the way our student council works and how I could get involved and meet new people. I am proud to say that I am here to represent, I'm so sorry. As I stand here before you today, I'm proud to say I'm running to represent you guys as your SRC president. My name is Lauren Straw. I'm from Ottawa, Ontario, but most importantly, I'm a student with the drive, enthusiasm, commitment, and confidence that I will represent the student body, making sure that all student voices are heard and everyone has equal opportunities to be engaged and involved in our school. I have had quite the journey here at Bishops and had the pleasure of working within several positions where I interacted very closely with our student body. Orientation Week Coordinator, Fashion Show Coordinator, and working as the DCRO have all allowed me to gain a unique perspective on our school and what kind of experience our students are looking for at Bishops. Being a Bishop student is such an honor. I can promise you that I will devote all of my time and effort into making this upcoming year one where everyone feels a part of our home away from home.
Hello fellow Gators, my name is David Doyne, and becoming your VP Social would make me feel like I just rolled up the road my Tim Hortons and won a car. Before I go any further, I want you guys to fill in this blank for me. Ready? When you were a kid and you came home from school, your mom or dad would often say, "Honey, did you have blank in school today?" Exactly. Ever since you were a kid, having fun has been a priority for you because it makes you happy. Here at university, you still want to have fun, and as your VP Social, it'd be my department making sure you do have fun through awesome events. Anyone else remember the warm sun on our backs, walking down to the most beautiful stream in the world that we call the Massawippi? Hanging out with your friends and going for a raft. It's one of my favorite memories here so far. And well, I want to bring this happiness from about right here to up here by making Massawippi Day, a day where everybody floats together and make it an annual thing. With that being said, my platform is simple. It's making sure you have fun here, because you only have between 3 and 5 years here, so let's work together to make this awesome. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Bianca. I'm currently a third-year student studying finance and accounting. My main goal, if I get elected as VP Social, would be able to bring more diversified activity and event to the SRC calendar. Don't get me wrong, I think it's the events that are right now offered are great. I just think they're not reaching out to the entire community of Bishop, and I would like to get more different activities to the SRC calendar. An example that I would have would be to create a night of sport at the sport place, which would we would register as a team and play sports all night. That would reach out to different people, as much as the party crowd, as the sport people, and other people that just like to get active. Also, Nelsonville is a town where there's not that many activities offered, so we're going to offer more activities to do on the weekends, like organize buses to go tubing on a Saturday instead of just doing nothing in your apartment. So I'm Bianca, and please, I'm happy for running for you guys, and hope you give me your vote.
Hey everyone, thank you for coming out tonight. For those of you who don't don't know me, my name is Becca Reed. I'm a third-year psychology student from Belleville, Ontario. I'm currently an off-campus student event coordinator, and I've learned so much from the time that I've been on the SRC. I absolutely love my position as a member of the social department, as we are involved in not only planning and creating fun events for students, but we are also involved in giving back to the community through initiatives such as the Trick or Treat program and the biannual blood drives. If elected as VP Social for the 2015-16 academic year, I will not only continue to run these events, but also attempt to make them even better than they are today. One of the ways I wish to accomplish this is through better communication, both within the social department itself and between the department and the student body. I think that with better communication, we can become a more organized and efficient social department.
I entered this position last year having so many goals, inclusive values, and perseverance be a part of active change. A year later, I can say with confidence that I accomplished all my platform goals and more. More importantly, I still have the same inclusive values and desire for change. Over the course of the year, I have learned so much. Experience is tremendously valuable in this position because it gives me confidence to advocate for the student's voice on committees and be receptive to your ideas. But my campaign is not simply about what I have done, but it's what I can use in the past to better your future. A couple of my platform goals is to support part-time and mature students more, have a stronger support system for academic clubs, improve academic programming during orientation week, and create longer conversations regarding spring school and reading week. Transparency and accountability are values that I wholeheartedly support and work tirelessly to adhere to them. SRC is moving towards a really better future, so let's finish what we started.
Okay, so I'm Heather Marlow, and as you know, I'm running to be your next Vice President of Student Affairs. After being at Bishop's for about 5 months now, I can confidently say that I've really thrown myself out there into the Bishop's community. And one of those ways has been through representing all of you on-campus students as your student affairs rep. So there's a lot of things that I would like to bring to this position, including making mental health an ongoing conversation and continuing that, as the SRC has done a really great job doing that so far. I'd like to collaborate more with Res Life to really reach out to our first-year students and to just continue to make all our students aware of the awesome student services that we have here at Bishop's. So I have a lot of valuable experience, and I'm really, really hoping that I can bring that to the Vice President of Student Affairs position. And yeah, thank you.
Hi, for those of you that I haven't had a chance to meet yet, I'm Natalie, and I'm running against Heather for VP of Student Affairs. What I want to do today is hopefully let you know a little bit more about who I am, as opposed to promising you things that I want to do, because I think what's really important in this role is once you get in there, learning about what the students want to do, as opposed to thinking of things beforehand. I think it's important that once I get in the office to understand. The terms that we have in office, especially as VPs, are short. They're only a year. So what I really want to do is focus on the existing programs that we have instead of trying to create new ones, because I think we have really awesome programs. But the problem is that students don't always know about them or don't know everything about them. What I'm hoping is to make them a little bit more accessible, but also make students aware of how great they are. I think that a lot of this is going to have to do with communication, which is a theme you're going to see a lot tonight, between not only the SRC and what we do for you, but most importantly, what you want us to do for you. Thank you.
Thank you guys very much. All very well spoken and very interesting. Thank you. We're going to have a 5-minute intervention as the bar opens. Exact opposite of that. Intermission, so we can have a few drinks. They can probably grab some water, and then we'll get back to the questions then. Thank you. So
Now we're going to start questions. Just a reminder, we're going to have a minute for each response. We're going to start with the presidential candidates, and the topic is communications. We're going to start with Lauren, going with Guillaume, and then Matthew. A major priority for the outgoing SRC executive has been communications. The new SRC mobile app marks a $6,500 per year investment for the next 3 years. The restructuring of the executive to include a 6th position in the Director of Communications and Marketing increases the salary of the head of the SRC Communications up by roughly $4,500. How will you make the best use of the new DCM and the new mobile app to ensure the SRC's $11,000 prioritization of a stronger communications department does not go to waste?
Okay. I think that it's really important that this year we've added an executive position for communications, because in lots of schools it's a full-on department. One of the struggles we found at our school is reaching out to the students and hearing back their feedback as well. So I think that this is a really great initiative to reach out to the students and have someone focus solely on the image of the SRC, as well as hearing feedback on how we can improve and reach out to you guys better. Trying to remember the rest of your question. What was the website? How to make that? Oh, the app, okay. Okay. I think the app is also a really great way to kind of bring all of our websites and media all in one, kind of. So this is a really great opportunity for us to put all of our information through this app and reach out to the students.
I think the app is a pretty good means of communication. Many people who have downloaded it, like I did in fact, find it pretty interesting, but the person in charge of communication will have to also make sure to take into account all the other means of communication that the SRC use, like Twitter and Facebook, because let's face it, many people, an app is there, but an app asks for people to kind of come to us, while Facebook or Twitter mean that we're going to people. The SRC, in my opinion, isn't that present on Facebook. I was looking for the Facebook page of the SRC, I had difficulty to find basically anything recent.
All right, so Jordan mentioned that this is a huge investment. One of the reasons why I think that one of the ways we're going to utilize the DCM is, as a member of our executive team, they're going to know about what is going on in every single department. You look at the app already, there's information about all our student support services, there's information about events, there's information about everything going on. So it combines the resources of each of the executives, and the DCM is going to put their skills and expertise to use in making it clear and communicated as effectively as possible. We're going to ensure that they manage our photographers, they're going to be involved in yearbook, they're going to be involved in the website, they're going to be involved in the radio. There's so many different means of communication that we're really excited about, and the DCM is going to have a big portfolio that they're going to be overlooking. It is a huge investment, but we're excited for it, and it's going to go off well.
Oh, the microphone's going to first start with Becca, then Bianca, then Eamon, and this is for the VP Socials. The topic is management of athletic clubs. There's been some brief discussion between the SRC and the athletics department about potentially transferring management and funding of the SRC's athletic clubs, for example, men's hockey, men's soccer, cheerleading, and the ultimate frisbee team, over to the athletics department. The athletics department has better resources for the competitive teams and established conduct policies that will benefit these groups, but may put the student control of their own teams in jeopardy. Where do you stand on the SRC's ability to manage competitive team sports? And if these teams remain with the SRC, what would you do better to manage their special needs as clubs?
Okay, yeah, the athletic department can offer these athletic teams a lot more insurance, a lot more security. There will be more rules that will have to be followed, but it will make them a more competitive and successful sports teams.
able to get the GCC funding that they would really like to get. And I think that me and Alex Roy went and spoke on behalf of the bishops to talk about the future of bishop sports. And although I think the sports department does have a lot of benefits, I don't think that it should be transferred to them because they already have a lot. As for how it would make these teams better, it would be hiring them a coach probably. Hiring them a coach rather than just having the students. Because although students do have good knowledge of the sport, I think a coach always helps.
The microphone to Natalie, please.
Nope, that's me.
This third question is for the Vice President Student Affairs as well as the presidential candidates. The order will go Natalie, Heather, and then Lauren, you, Matthew. The topic is Student Services Budget. Amidst budget reallocation across Bishop's University in 2014 and 15, the Student Services budget was adjusted to cease support of the creative arts and eliminate a position within Student Services. A recent restructuring of the funding to the Sportsplex could potentially reintroduce a sizable sum back into the Student Services budget. In working with the Student Services Department, where would you prioritize the newly available funds?
Okay, the Student Services budget right now accounts, like Jordan said, for not only what we would consider the student services, but also the athletics. And a lot of that money is going to be moved, and there's going to be some changes in the student services. But it's not going to be adding more money, available money. It's going to be helping to get rid of some of the deficit that student services is seeing now. It's not going to be allowing them to have a ton of new money, but it's just going to be helping to pay for things that have already been accounted for. So in terms of student services, we've hired a new psychologist. We're one of the only U4 schools that has a full-time physician on campus. That's something that not a lot of students at other schools see. So I think that the student services budget is actually really well allocated, so I wouldn't make any changes at all.
Okay, well, like Jordan mentioned, the SRC this year decided to make a fee for the Sportsplex, and that, like he said, it has definitely opened up a lot of room in the student services budget. But I think it's very important that we keep this budget balanced, and it's hard to say whether there's a student service that should be given more money more than others, because I think it's important to look at all the students and all their needs, and keeping something balanced is going to ensure that we're meeting everybody's needs. So, thank you.
I have to agree with both of what our candidates down there said, and one of the things I'd like to emphasize really is promoting the services that we have to our students, because I think we have a lot of amazing services that the students really don't know about, and especially since we have added this new budget towards the student services, I think it would be really great for us to promote it to the students and let them know what kind of help they really have available to them, because I know that even in first year I didn't really know about lots of the services that I had as options, and I think that this is a really great opportunity for us to reach out to the students.
I was agreeing with most of what has been said. Different students need basically different services and different interests in the different services offered. So reallocating what we have now, we have a pretty good diverse offer that match the need of the different members in our student body. So we have, in my opinion, a pretty good match. And basically, everything has been said, in my opinion, on the topic.
So without going into too many specifics about the Student Support Services budget, I've had the privilege of kind of working closely with Dean Bailey this year, kind of getting to know where this money is allocated. Like Natalie mentioned, we've got a new psychologist, we've got another person on part-time, and we've got a new intern in career and support services. One area that if there was more money to be available, I think we should really focus is sexual health and wellness. We still don't have someone who's solely focused on that, so if we could have a specialist able to help students with their issues at any time and kind of be there in our emergency procedures and helping students deal with anything that's going on, and that's where I would put it.
Thank you. The next topic is the SRC reputation, and it will be for the presidential candidates. Starting with Matthew, Leo, and Marlow. The question is, despite being made up of students from diverse social spheres, extracurricular interests, academic programs, and years, the SRC is sometimes referred to as an extension of a bishop's clique. Do you feel this perception is justified? If yes, what can be done to attract more students to get involved with the SRC? If no, what can be done to curb that growing perception?
I think any group on campus is going to be considered by someone from the outside as a clique in some ways or others. I think maybe, like, I'm not going to say any one group I think is a clique because it's not really fair to them because just because I'm not a part of it doesn't make it a clique. I think one thing that the SRC can do to curb this image is really say to students that we are your SRC. Tell them and share with them and make them understand that the SRC is not for us. We don't do this for ourselves. It really is for the student body. If they have an issue, a concern, a comment, suggestion, we will take it into consideration and we will go with it because we do work for the student body. And I think the more we can stress that and communicate that with them, the more I think we can break down this divide.
I think that this is a major point that the SRC has to work on because it's a perception issue. We need to make everybody understand that the SRC is there. That is, we need to get more feedback and show them more of what's happening behind closed doors. Okay, the General Assembly are open for everybody to watch, but they're happening in Medway 100. Who, on Sunday night, if I'm right, most often, who's passing in front of Medway 100 of Sunday night? Bring them back in front of people. Show them the process. Show them the infos, everything that's happening. Bring everything back in front of people. Get their infos, give them back all the infos. Make everything transparent. That's my opinion. And avoid crisis management.
Okay, so this is something that I've thought of a lot, and I think that our SRC has done a really great job, but we keep reaching out to the same percentage of students, and I've come up with a few ideas to hopefully bring the students together and maybe realize that the SRC really is here for them. One of which was giving more opportunities for our students who aren't involved in the SRC to volunteer for events put on through the SRC. Because I know so many students would really appreciate being able to have a part in some of the events we're putting on. And it would mean a lot to them to kind of feel more a part of the SRC and not kind of just watching everyone and seeing them as a clique. And I also think something I love that the execs did last semester was when there's the ICAC stuff going on, they sat in the library to see if anyone had questions or concerns. And I think that if I was to be elected, I would love for us to hold our office hours in public places such as the library, the sub, Dewey's every now and then so students can come up to you and ask you questions and see that you really are there for them.
Sorry, it's going to be going to Chelsea now. So our next question is for Vice President Academic Candidates. The topic is academic orientation. Both the SRC and the school administration have recently identified the academic orientation format of Orientation Week to be in need of an overhaul. Under your direction, what would be the optimal model for academic orientation of our incoming students be?
I'm quite familiar with this issue. I'm in the process of actually revamping our current academic orientation, and it requires me to actually reach out to the stakeholders, including our deans, and actually create a new format for orientation. Right now, it's not effective for incoming students. It's an information overload. The ideal for academic orientation would be to create a marketplace in the gate, for an example, where we would present not only all the academic services, like your tutoring, the writing center, but we could also incorporate student affairs into that mix. This allows students to have a one-on-one contact with the services that are available to them. And it also provides them the opportunity to actually interact with faculty and staff. Right now, it's really passive. They don't actually get the opportunity to do so. They sit in the audience and they listen to a lot of information. So I think developing it into a really one-on-one confrontation will improve and also give the opportunity to learn a lot more.
Seems like it's going back and forth a lot. So the next questions will be for the Vice President's social as well as for the presidential candidates. We're going to start with Eamon, Bianca, Becca, and Matthew, Guillaume, and Mark. The topic is social integration of first years. With the growth of happy hour and the rising popularity of gay nights in the past few years, the SRC has been told that first year students can sometimes feel intimidated or uncomfortable coming into the gate where they feel like an outsider in a place where everyone knows each other. Can you think of any ways which the SRC might be able to integrate first years with upper years socially as equals so that they no longer feel excluded?
I thought that one of the best ideas so far this year has been the first year badge that introduced students to the gate. However, when it came to having students hang out with upper years in the gate, I noticed that one of the first things we did with our frosh leaders was come to the gate, and I think that's great. I think that a really great idea could be having, frosh teams come in to each other all the time, having frosh reunions, because that's how I met my first upper years were through frosh, having my frosh leaders. And I think if we had almost like a frosh reunion in here once in a while, it would be having loads of upper years hanging out with the younger years, and then no judges the first year. So you have all the judges in here as well. It'd be like a real reunion. I think that it would be great for having the students in the upper years.
I think this issue is not just with the gate or happy hours, mostly with all the events the SRC do. What I would like to do next year if I get elected to reduce this issue would be to build a calendar at the end of each semester and a booklet that explains all the activities that the SRC offers. What's Winterfest? A lot of first years were posting on weekend, what's Winterfest? They didn't know a week before what's Winterfest. And I think that the fact that they don't know what's coming up or what the events are makes them more afraid of showing up or going to this event. So by creating a booklet of events and explaining what the events are, what's coming up during the semester is going to make them more welcome to going to this event if they know what it's all about and not just be in the dark and hearing it from upper years in the hallways, but actually really knowing what's coming up.
So similar to Bianca's idea, this year, Mike Thomas, the current VP Social, and myself and the other SECs attempted to go to res floor meetings to explain to first years what upcoming events were going to be like, what was going to be going on, and such. It didn't quite work out this year. Maybe it will later in the semester, but something like that, having meetings every once in a while before big events like Winterfest, Frosh Weekend, etc., just to explain to them what's coming up, what's going to be going on, and in person, so that they'll know if they'll see our face at these events and they'll feel comfortable coming up to us and maybe asking what's going on, like what can I do here, where should I go? And also, with Ena's point of a Frosh thing, I know the first year happy hour was a success, and maybe having one of those during Frosh week or a week after would be a very good idea.
So after planning orientation week this year, something I've really noticed is that orientation week is amazing for the students, but right after it's over, it's very overwhelming and they're kind of thrown into this world that they don't really know how to live in. So something that I've thought of doing is possibly creating a position or even a team, and we discussed this at our Frosh debrief, that is dedicated towards the transitioning first years into the life at Bishop's University. So these people would be dedicated towards the first years all year round. It could be a group of SRC members, the res team, volunteers, people that the students know their faces. If they have questions about absolutely anything related, they can go to them. They will learn about the events, they will learn about academic things, like pretty much whatever they want. These are the mentors for them. And I think that this would be really important because I want to focus on keeping the first years at Bishop's, because I know that the first year can be very, very overwhelming, and and some people unfortunately end up going home.
What I would like to see is a mix of programs that we often see, college for international students mixed with residence life. Anyway, what I mean by there is, first, what do many schools do? I'm not sure about here, but a proposal about international students, they pair them with local students. What I mean by there, we could pair freshies with upper year students. Something like adopt a freshie. And the other thing is have, or at different times during the year, more soft social events like barbecues and that kind of stuff, a bit like the hours organized in residence. Something that more people would attend without during the day sometimes, or at other times during the day instead of at night. Thank you.
I think everybody's raised some really good points. I love Bianca's reminder that first years don't always know right away some of our crazy traditions here at Bishop, so it's definitely worthwhile letting them in on what is actually happening around us. Something that I've noticed, in addition to the first year happy hour, the great orientation week this year, also trivia nights. I'm a big fan of trivia night. You see people from first years, upper years, including staff, university staff and profs there getting come out as well. More dynamic events like this that really bring together the entire community. If we're bringing in new events that nobody knows about, upper years or first years, then everybody will come together to find out what's going on. Just more of everything that everybody else just said.
The next question is for the presidential candidates. The order is going to go opposite, so Matthew's going to start. The topic is varsity sports review. The university is currently undergoing an audit of their varsity sports program that includes taking a look at how each program is funded, as well as various opportunities and scenarios of adding, eliminating, or adapting current programs. A 15-credit student is paying $408 per semester as a student services fees, well over 50% of which goes to the funding of our athletics department. What is your stance on the current percentage of athletic funding, and what do you view the SSU's role in on the ongoing audit to be?
The audit's an incredibly huge process. I'm hoping that most of you here filled out the survey that was sent out last semester to gain input and insight onto what the students' thoughts on varsity sports were. Yes, some of our student fees do go to pay our varsity athletics program. Every university funds varsity athletics differently. Bishop's just happens to fund it through the students. Every student benefits from our varsity athletics programs, whether it's the spirit, the sense of pride in our school, the just overwhelming support of Bishop's University. Funding from alumni comes from varsity athletics as well. Every student has free access to games. It's something we want to keep in mind as well, that support of our student fees go towards these games. I think the varsity athletics program is important. I think it does need to be reviewed, and I'm glad that we're doing it. But I want everybody to keep an open mind, and let's go through the process for the best for the athletes themselves as well, and for the university body.
It's sure that when we look at it that way, half of our student fees going to the athletics department, it's, I must say, I've never been a sports guy. You look at me, you can see it. And I'm not that file, we are with that file. I'm going to totally, what I can tell you, varsity sports, as is often said, are partly what makes our school, what keeps our school together. How many people do you see at the football game? How many people do you say cheer Real McGill on Saturdays in the fall? That's what makes everybody wear purple. That's the only way that everybody really works perfect. So that's important for us.
Going off of what both of these men beside me said, I totally agree with this because I think that our sports are really what brings us all together, and especially our community. We bring together all of our profs, the people who live in Lennoxville, people who live in Sherbrooke, and most importantly, alumni. And I think that there has been lots of controversy on where the money goes and what teams get more, and I don't necessarily know all the details about that, but what I do know is we really bond over our sports games, and I think that without our teams, we would not be the school who we are today.
Audience, you're doing great. We have 2 more questions. Hang in there. This is for the student affairs candidates. The topic is drugs. The question is, drugs, in particular drugs like MDMA and cocaine, are a growing concern on all campuses across the Canada. Bishops is not excluded from this trend. How can the SRC work better with student services, residents, student safety, and or internally with our own staff on concrete initiatives to address this problem?
Okay, well, I know that we have seen an issue with drug use around campus and at the gate as well. And one of the things that I would love to do is, I did mention that I want to continue to make mental health an ongoing conversation. And one of those things would be to have some kind of an initiative that goes towards focused on drug use on our campus and how we can eliminate that. Student safety, I know, is continuing to work hard with that as well. And I'd also love to collaborate with Res Life so that they are also on board with initiatives that would, about drug use and get everybody involved, because it needs to be a collaboration between the students as well as the administration of the university.
Okay, so on the topic of drug use, I actually took it upon myself to speak to some of the people in the SRC and then also in student services that are involved with the gate. So Dean Bailey, as well as Emily McGowan as the DFO, and then Reed Young as the manager of the gate. And they all can definitely say that we have a bit of an issue this year with drug use before and in the gate. I think the best way to conquer this is kind of a twofold solution. First would be an education in terms of preventative. Deal with it as more of the dangers of drug use. I think a lot of students may think that they know, but don't know all of the facts. And then the other side of the coin would be to look to the community for support. This definitely can come from student services and student safety, but I think also turning to the Sherbrooke Police for support, because I know that they're definitely good with dealing with students and just civilians in terms of drug use and abuse.
The last question is starting with Chelsea, and then we're going to end with the presidential candidates, starting with Matthew. The topic is visibility of the academic department. The average student at Bishops may not understand what the SRC's academic department does on a day-to-day basis due to the behind-the-scenes nature of the committee work that makes up a large portion of the department's mandate. What can be done to increase the visibility of the academic department's important work? And what can be done to make the department a more active part of the average student's daily experience?
Okay, so this is a question I had to reflect on a lot, being VP Academic this year, and I think I would really lean on the new Director of Communications and Marketing for this a lot. A lot of students don't quite know all the committees that I sit on, and quite frankly, they're really complicated. So I think it's really important to educate them exactly what these purposes of these committees do, because not only do I assist faculty in representing student voice, but I'm also the active student voice through committees that are made for you guys. So it's really important that maybe through our new website or through the app that there's a demonstration of exactly what the committees are, what they do, and their intent. Aside from that, the second part of the question, how would I improve the visibility of the academic department? We've made great strides this year in creating the academic hub with the intent to acknowledge and reward students, and that's something that I really want to continue with next year. It's something, okay, sorry guys. You can talk to me later.
So right away, I was going to say the exact same thing that Chelsea said about utilizing our new director of communications and marketing. I'd love to see not only reports from the academic office, but from all executives kind of explaining what committees they're sitting on, what issues they're dealing with, either on a bi-monthly basis. We can use all platforms like the app, the website. I'd love to see the campus writing articles about what the SRC is going on, or what SRC is doing as well, which is really being as clear and explaining at the beginning of the year what kind of topics we're getting into, and then giving updates throughout the year. So.
We're here to study, so obviously the VP Academic has probably the most important position in the SRC. How come people not know it? Sometimes we're wondering, then we realize it's when people have issues with academic problems that they wonder why. Then how can we increase the visibility? Maybe get if the SRC could advertise like the exam schedule coming out, like as and that kind of stuff, like as a first advertisement, that kind of stuff.
So I don't really have anything much different than what everyone else just said, but I do think that, especially after working with Chelsea in orientation week, I really realized how much work does go behind the senators and whatnot, and talking to you guys, trying to hear your side of how your semesters have gone. So I do really believe that maybe even advertising the GA meetings, I know that a lot of students just don't go to them, and it's a great opportunity, and maybe, you know, letting them know that the minutes are up. I don't know. I think that our BU SRC website could be a really great opportunity too, just to make the information more accessible to the students, as well as our new app, of course. But I mean, the website, I think that we could add a little to make it a little more less confusing and easier to find that access.
So right now, as Alex is fixing the second microphone, we're going to be doing closing statements from all the candidates. We're going to start with Chelsea, Natalie, Heather, to the VP social candidates, and then end with the presidential candidates in reverse alphabetical order. After these 30-second talks, closing statements, we're then going to open the floor for questions.
Okay, so I've worked really hard this year to truly be aware of what the academic department does. Like we mentioned during the committee work, there's a lot of information and a lot of things that go on behind the scenes. And I'm here second semester and I finally learned how to do it well. So that's how I can be better for next year. Not only am I going, yes, damn it, 30 seconds, I screwed up. I'm dedicated and I still have a lot of ideas to bring to the table. It's not just past ideas, it's moving forward to make it a better department. Sorry, guys.
Really short. Okay, so I just want to thank you guys for coming out as well. Just to close, I just want to also kind of reiterate what I said at the beginning. I think it's hard to say things that I really want to do before I get in and actually see what the students want me to do. Because I don't think it's about what I think needs to be done, it's about what you guys think needs to be done. That's 30 seconds.
There's been a reason for the last 10 seconds. Oh, how's that?
I was done anyway.
It's a little scary.
I'll be like slower too. I won't like be aggressive.
Okay. So as you heard, I stand for transparency and inclusivity, engagement and collaboration. And so if I was voted to be your VP Student Affairs, I'm ready to take my valuable experience and my ideas and put that to work. And so I'm Heather, and I am asking you to help me set the bar even higher for the SRC and for bishops. Thank you.
As I mentioned earlier, I wish to ensure better communication, organization, and inclusivity for all students. If elected to be your VP Social, I will use the experience I have gained over my 3 years at Bishop's to bring new ideas to the social department and to our community. I believe I will make an excellent VP Social, as I understand that this position is much more than simply planning fun events. Thank you.
To go back on what I said earlier, what I wish to accomplish as VP Social would be to bring up different activities and events to the SRC to reach out to everyone. But the way I think I can do this and be able to reach out to everyone is I'm especially a very social person, and I talk to a lot of different people, but I also am a great listener, and I remember what people tell me, so I think that I'll be able to take in all the advice I've got, the complaints, to make it better next year.
I once had a boxing coach that said, no one can want it more than you, because if they do, you're not going to get it. I stand here before you saying that his voice echoing louder than ever, because I really do want it. Ladies, gentlemen, whatever gender our school mascot is, my name's Eamon Doyle. I love your vote for VP Social.
I hope that this upcoming year we can try to reach out to a broader range of students and that we can continue on moving forward and immersing the incoming students to this amazing school. I would be more than honored to represent such an amazing school, but more importantly, the great group of students that truly make this experience one of a kind.
I want to remember you why I'm here today. I want to bring new ideas to the SRC, improve things, and just make an SRC that can represent every single one of you. I might not be as up to date as an outsider, I might not be as up to date on every single file as someone, as an insider, but that's pretty fast to get it. But a new vision, you cannot get it from everybody. Thank you.
All right, everybody, so I'm going to start off by saying thank you so much for coming out tonight and hearing what we all have to say. I'm really excited for the opportunity to do that, to work with the executive team again. I think I have a lot more I can do with the SRC and guide them and give them, facilitate a new year with new ideas and continuing on the great things that we've already done. I am committed, I'm passionate, and I bring a lot of experience. So I hope you consider me to be your next SRC president. Thank you so much.
And now we're going to open up questions to the floor. So if anyone has any questions, please see my lovely friends on my left. And we can go from there.
Hi, I'm Andrew. I sit on the SRC right now as an SAR, and this question goes to everyone. I've read every single one of your Facebook events, and I've seen what you guys are saying. Things like, we can improve inclusivity. I'm going to improve communication. But the question is, what are you actually going to do? How are you going to do this? What is one single thing that you will give me an example of how you're going to do this thing? Is it going to be an event, like a wine and cheese? Is it going to be an open forum? What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
So aside from what I've already said tonight, my main goal, if I were to be elected VP Social, I would use, again, organization of the social department and management of the SECs to then promote all of our events so that first years and upper year students who are not really sure what's going to be happening in the upcoming semester will have a better idea and will feel more comfortable to maybe go to events that they would normally go to or just to try something new.
Can I ask a question? Do we have 30 seconds for these, or are these just open? Okay, sorry. You okay? I just wasn't sure.
Like I mentioned earlier, I think that what we're lacking is activities for different tastes at the school, and sometimes we have a lot of activities for people who like to party, to drink, but I think there's other types of activities that we can offer. Like I mentioned, the night of sport that we can do that's going to reach out to different people. Just activities outside campus, like organize to go to a concert, to go to vape on a Saturday. Also, what I would like to do is Frosh second week or audition week should be a bit bigger because the student that come in second semester are kind of left out a lot. So I would like to make this a bit bigger and maybe use the first year to integrate the new first years instead of using upper years so they actually meet friends at the school every semester. That's examples that I think I would do.
So you asked how are we going to include people. I'm currently working on a project with Nick Ladko to make the last night, the last happy hour, a night where it's student bands the entire night, half an hour acts, 1 hour acts, throughout the whole night because I currently, and I've always believed, that at Bishop's, the musicians don't always feel, and they might not feel like appreciated and recognized. So actually the last night of happy hour I'm working on right now is going to be about recognizing Bishop's musicians. So that's how I'm going to include a different kind of group.
So as I mentioned throughout the night, a few of my main points, I guess, are really reaching out to the students who aren't, I guess, really familiar with the SRC and what we really have to offer to them. So through this, I would like to be more transparent. I would like to have lots of face-to-face interaction with them, holding office hours in more public areas so that students can come up to us. And even if they don't, just seeing faces around, I feel like it's really nice for them to see you there. I also think that one of my main points would be to kind of put together a committee for a transition period for the first years so that we don't just kind of throw them into the wild on their own after that 1 week, and we can really focus on helping them transition into a really safe and healthy environment, and they would have them kind of as their mentors. And also kind of hand in hand, I think this would also mean putting on more inclusive events for everyone, reaching out to lots of different groups of people, not just drinking and partying activities. So, yeah.
One of my main focus would be first to improve the perception of the SRC that goes in to what I would call a two-way communication there. First, getting communication out and getting feedback. That would be through survey, notably, because, what would I say? Have you ever heard about the way the Swiss do politics? They do a lot of things through referendum there. Or even if we look at the provincial or federal politics, they have just the news that gives the parties a lot of feedback. Here we don't have that much of a thing, apart maybe Yekiat, but that's another story. So I would say we could send out, let's say, a weekly survey that would bring us feedback on some major issue that could be relevant at that point. Then I'm saying meetings, bring them back in an area where people, and at a time where most people would actually make the whole process more transparent. Then also, I would say, I would look at work with the different VP, like VP Social, to, if we can get call it a wider range of activities, also more thematic. Thank you.
Right, so you're looking for tangible, physical things that we want to do. So one thing that Andrew, I actually work with Andrew, he's a member of our student affairs department, he's put forward really good goals for our executive to be clear on their goals from the beginning of their term, to have clear responsibilities for their teams, events, plans, outlines. Chelsea's probably been the best of any of us this year at really doing this. She rocks with that. That's something that I want to improve upon next year. But that's something that I really want to work with the executive team to do, as well as with our general managers. Aaron and Nick are both very experienced in kind of guiding us and working with us to help us kind of shape what we want to do, let us know what's feasible, what's possible. And then once we've got these plans laid out, it's how we present them to students. Last semester we did your student forum. It was set up in the sub lobby, and it happened in October, November. It's a big, busy semester. It happened last semester. But if we had an event at the beginning of the semester, sharing with you guys, the students, our plans, and then giving you the chance to give us feedback right away from the start, saying, you know what, maybe Matthew, I don't want you to focus on that, and really giving the chance for the students to have their say in what they want to happen at the beginning of the year. So.
Okay, so I don't know how much Andrew will, if this really goes along with what you're asking, but I don't have concrete things that I want to do yet because I haven't been elected and been able to speak to the students about what you're looking for next year. I don't think it's fair for me to sit up here and say, here's a list of 10 things that I want to do, because that's not representative of the students, because I haven't had a chance to speak to you yet. So what my plans for getting to know what tangible things will be realistic is to learn more about what the students want. I think that your SRC forum was a really good idea. It gave students a better way to communicate what they wanted as opposed to just online or written surveys. But I think that that's mostly where I'm headed, is that I don't have ideas yet because I still want to know what you guys want as a representative.
Okay, so Matt and Natalie kind of talked about my one thing that I would really like to, well, I have other things, but to focus on one would be definitely the SRC forum. I helped a lot with the planning of that back in November, and I really like the idea of having one right at the beginning of the year and then having one in the second semester, because I think a big problem that we face is that not a lot of people are really exactly aware of what the SRC does. I'd like to see a big presence from the executive, but also highlighting our student affairs representatives, our student events coordinators, and our senators, because not a lot of people as well don't really know what they do and who they are. So. Rather than answering this question through my own academic department instead, I'm going to overstep that and answer it as an executive. When you say inclusivity, we talk about social events and making social events more inclusive to people who don't drink and things like that, but I think as an SRC we need to start seeing inclusivity as a concept where we celebrate diversity, where we accept that our university is full of people from different religions, different races, different ethnicities, and different sexualities. But that kind of change, Andrew, I know you're looking for goals, change comes in very small strides. And I think a really active goal that the SRC can implement for this summer is taking the steps to ensure that our offices are considered safe spaces, that we take
I think that as an executive team we need to take responsibility for, and we need to communicate those goals to the students. And once the students know what we're doing, then that to me opens up good communication opportunities.
Before we have our next question, just to make sure that everyone has time, we're going to add a minute limit to your answers.
Hi everyone, my name is Julia. I'm a third-year business student. My question is for the presidential candidates, and it's about the SRC budget. This year, the SRC is projecting a $40,000 loss. There's been a lot of increased expenses, notably like salaries and capital expenditures. So my question is, if it came down to you having to make some cost cuts in order to get out of the red, what would you cut and why?
All right, 1 minute. So, looking at the SRC's budget this year, yes, there is a big deficit. A lot of students don't realize how much money the SRC actually works with. We do run huge operations like the gate, like Doolittle's. This year, part of the reason why we have a lot more money coming out is the fact that we have recently added a new general manager. We now have 2 positions, whereas there used to be 1. Something that we have to cut. Julia, why would we cut anything? Goodness. You know what? I would cut whatever makes the least impact on students. You know what? If it got down to that, and we were in the position where we needed to say we have to cut and change something that the SRC really has to do, I'd talk to the students and find out what is going to have the least impact on you and your experience, and make the decision from there.
I think he has a good point. That would be to the students to probably make the final decision, though. After looking at the budget this year, I think that there was, what's the term in English? I'm from a French background, as you may have noticed. There was lots of immobilization that had been filed for the gate this year. So that might be exceptional, but from what I know, but there, if I would have to cut, I would say that, in my opinion, we would have to try to cut, maybe students will have, if there's a specific place in the budget, students will have to take the decision, but maybe ideally a percentage to across the board, small percentage, then if there's something specific, students will make the decision.
I agree with both of the men beside me here. I believe that we would really have to reach out to the students to see what is important to them and what we would possibly be able to eliminate or maybe take a bit of the money away from. Personally, off the top of my head, I know this could be touchy because I know there's execs in here, but I feel like a lot of the execs love their job, and I feel like if we were to take a bit of the money away from those positions, they still would want to do those jobs because no one's up here for no reason. We all really want to represent you guys, and I personally would do this on a volunteer basis because I love this school so much, and I know that a lot of the people up here, I'm sure, would do that as well.
My name is Paul Fairbairn. I'm a third-year business student. This question is for the presidential candidates. If not elected president, what are your plans to help better the bishop's community as a whole?
That is a very tough one. So I haven't really thought of what my plans are for next year, but I definitely would like to continue with what we're doing this year. We've implemented a new fashion show directed towards solely the community members, which I'm really excited about. Our first show is tomorrow. We have lots of different props. There's students, people from coming out of town, and alumni. So I'm really excited about that, but I really have not put much thought onto what I will be doing next year yet.
Me neither, I'm afraid I haven't thought a lot. I would say I would probably continue depends that depends from student safety. And yeah, I would have to look into something else, I guess.
My goal for next year, if not elected, is to stay as involved as possible, obviously. That's been my goal from day one here at Bishop's. I would love to stay involved with the SRC, obviously as an executive, as an advisory capacity supporting whoever's elected the VP Student Affairs. I'd love to stay up to date with what's going on. I would love to head back to Residence Life Team and work with first year students there as an on-campus or as a Residence Life Team member, and help out with the important job there and working with students there, but also staying involved as much as I can with my academic clubs and just volunteering whenever I can.
Hi, this is for the presidential candidates. My question is revolving around sustainability on campus. So this year there was implementation of the Green Judge for Orientation Week, and right now we have a new dishwasher. But I was wondering for next year, do you have any ideas how can you implement sustainability for our student body and our campus? Because it is one of Bishop's pillars. So.
That's a great question from Dana. I have, as VP Student Affairs this year, I kind of oversee the green and sustainable portfolio of the SRC. We've got a really solid clean community team and a great environmental officer who pushed to have the dishwasher here at the gate, so we're really proud of what they've accomplished this year, keeping our community clean. Next year we're looking on restructuring to make sure that they're out and about even more, pushing for more sustainable campaigns throughout the year. Obviously working very closely with our environmental club. But we'd love to see more students, and we'd love to encourage more students to apply for Green Levy funding. It's not just for the SRC, or it's for the students, and it's really for you guys to make a difference. So helping them to come up with their own projects. I'd love to see our sustainable manager, our environmental officer work together with students to help them accomplish those goals, as well as just making the clean community team more recognized in the community at large, and making sure the next one does what we're doing.
Sorry, I have much difficulty hearing your question. Could you repeat it, please?
I was just wondering what sustainable initiatives you could bring to Bishop's community if you were to be elected president.
Well, if I must say, I don't know if that's still going on, but if I'm right, there was an eco-floor in residence. I would say that the first point would be that there would be much more cooperation between the much stronger cooperation between the SRC and them, although I guess much member of one are already involved in the other. Then I would say basically everything that might have interest in the green community on campus, get them together, because that's really important if we want to organize more important activity.
So I believe next year we'll have a lot easier way of recruiting people to help us out with this through the new exec position. But something I was just thinking while I was sitting here is with our new app, maybe in the future we could move towards not having posters all over campus and using some kind of website to put all of the posters up instead of wasting paper. And because I know I saw you have to get about 100 stamped to promote the week, so I think it would make a lot of sense to just kind of have one specific page or website where all the posters go up.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Alright, so that spells the end of Speakers Night for 2015. I'd like to thank all of our candidates for coming out. You all gave really great answers, so let's give them a round. As SRC President, I'm really confident that no matter the choices you make next week, we will have a really strong SRC executive next year, so I'm really happy about that. Just a quick note from our environmental officer, speaking of sustainability, the gate did just bring usable glasses. Yeah. that's an initiative we're really proud of. Up until now, we have been using close to 16,000 plastic beer cups per year, so 8,000 per semester, and we're going to hope to cut down on that number significantly. Just put that into perspective, we're also using 13,000 shot glasses and plastic mixed drinks cups just in fall 2014 alone. So we're going to try to put a dent in that, but we need your help with that. They are beer glasses, so if we can just get everyone to really respect the glasses, if you smash them, they're gone, essentially. So just really respect the glasses. I'd like to thank our clean community team and our environmental officer, Catherine, for making this happen. It's something that I'm really proud of, so let's really take that initiative and run with it. Thank you.